What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I think you already know what time it is. It's Ryu Buffs time, and I'm going to be showcasing every single change here in this list, talking about it and showcasing it in training mode so you understand everything. If you're excited, make sure to give this video a like, and let's get straight into this. So we're going to ignore the assisted combo changes because I don't play modern controls and I don't think they're anything significant. We're going to look at the actual balance changes. So standing light punch, pushback on hit reduced. So I think this will allow for more combability when you're hitting your opponent and it pushes you back further, makes it harder for other things to link. So this is good. Next we have standing light kick, and the adjustment here is pushback on hit reduced. Same thing here. Hopefully makes things combo more frequently. But pushback on block reduced is kind of weird because usually when you have things that are negative in the game and you don't want to get punished, you want the pushback to be higher, further. But this is strange since it's standing light kick. But yeah, they changed that. Proximity block trigger hitbox expanded the same as attack hitbox. I don't know what this would entail because this wouldn't affect anything with combos, but I think this is just to keep things consistent. Now for standing medium kick, super art gauge increased from 500 to 700. So now when you use standing medium kick and it hits, you will get an extra 200 super art meter. So this is really good. Standing heavy punch, the adjustment is oh wow, advantage on hit changed from 3 to +4 frames. So more things combo. I think this could help in making Hashoge combo during punish counter, I think. Let me show you guys the first change that we talked about, the heavy punch. You can now combo into heavy Hashoge from punish counter heavy punch. You could not do that before in the previous patch. And take a look at that. You can kill your opponent with a devastating shimmy using that Hashoge. So make sure to use that. You can do so much more with the heavy punch buff. Let me shimmy him again. Now you can add a crouching medium kick. You couldn't do that before. You can also mix it up with drive rush. This will extend the combo for more damage and corner carry. You could also use different routes for different setups. See what I mean? It's really useful. So this is a great change. He's more like Ken now. Crouching light punch, pushback on hit reduced. Same thing here. Now crouching medium punch, the adjustment here is that the attack active frames change to 3 to 4 frames. This is really interesting. And I wonder what this would help in. And the recovery changed from 14 to 13 frames. Pretty self-explanatory. The crouching medium punch now recovers faster. So less likely to get punished if you whiff it. So that's good. Crouching heavy punch, damage from the second active frame and later changed to 800 to match the first active frame. I'm not sure if the first and second active frames had different damage, maybe less or more, so they wanted to match it up to keep it consistent. There's not much to demonstrate here. But here, this is some really cool stuff. Super art gauge increased from 1000 to 1200. So another punch that hits, you get another 200 super meter. So you're going to see this frequently in the balance patch and the balance changes here, that a lot of Ryu's normals give him more super meter, so it'll be easier to get super throughout the matches. Drive gauge reduction on block changed from -6000 to -7500. So here, if you hit someone with crouching heavy punch, they will lose more drive gauge. They will lose 1500 more, so that's amazing. Drive gauge reduction during punish counter changed from -8000 to -10,000. Wow. So during punish counter, if it hits, you will lose 2,000 more. So this is actually insane. The changes here are slowly building up to be really cool. Jumping medium punch. So this is interesting. I think this is for the juggle combos. Let's see. Forward attack hitbox expanded. So things will probably have better reach to, you know, for combos to match the size of the first attack. So basically the first and second attack of the jumping medium punch, because it hits twice, are basically the same, the hitbox, and now I think you'll be able to do it more consistently. So collarbone breaker is Ryu's overhead, and they changed the advantage on hit from +2 to +3. This will hopefully make things combo more. I have to test that out. Maybe with drive rush overhead, maybe it will be a bit more, you know, easier to combo. More things can combo. And on block, here's what's interesting. Ryu's overhead was already safe on block. Everyone's fastest normal is -4, so it's -3 here, so you can't punish. But what's interesting is that now it's -1. So they only recover 1 frame before you, and they can't really do much. This is really good. So it's even safer now on block. Solar Plexus Strike. Now this is a really big change. Look at that. Initial scaling is removed, so now there's no scaling on Solar Plexus. But take a look at this. Advantage on block changed from +1 to +3. So now Solar Plexus will be really useful. +3 on block is just insane. Now you could do like medium punch and be safe. Previously +1 it was not really enough to do much. You get a fast normal, like 4 frame normal, you know, light punch, crouching light kick, something like that. But now you can use medium punch and it will be really good on block. Knockback time when the first attack hits an opponent changed from 15 to 25 frames. Affects situations such as trading with the opponents. Okay, so now I think you have more time to confirm when you trade with an opponent when doing Solar Plexus, so it's easier to combo. I need you to pay attention to the damage data. It's in the middle and the top. Right now it's at 0, but let me do Solar Plexus. It has 400 damage, but I need you to pay attention to the percentage next to it. It's at 100%. That means that the 400 damage that we just got is 100% of the Solar Plexus damage that we can get. It doesn't have scaling for the initial hits, so it's at 100%. But before the patch, it used to have scaling, but I don't know how much exactly. If I show you something like this, this has been scaled right now. It's at 68% of the damage that we're supposed to be getting, meaning that the rest is scaled. Take a look at the Solar Plexus advantage on block. Right now it's 3 frames. It used to be 1 frame advantage before the patch. We could do jab or crouching light punch and be safe. They'd get interrupted if they challenge. Now, you could do more than that. This is what we used to do before. They get interrupted, but now we could do medium punch. Medium punch is slower than jab and crouching light punch, but since we have 3 frames of advantage, we have more to get away with. We could extend this with drive rush, so we could get more damage in. Alright guys, so I tested the Solar Plexus trade stuff that we saw in the balance list of changes. Here's what I found. As you can see, I tried to get a lot of trade scenarios, but I'm always negative, so there's not much I can do. Like this doesn't even reach, this doesn't reach in that spot, so you really can't, you know, continue the juggle. You know, you're still recovering after he does. So I just guess that it's supposed to be better, but I don't know if any new trade combos can come from this. So this is Ryu's hop kick, the evil Ryu hop kick, that's what they used to call it. Forward heavy kick. They increased pushback on block. Like I said before, this is a really good change because when you increase pushback on something that can be punishable, it's less punishable. That's just how it works. If you're farther away, they can't reach and they can't hit you, so that's good. When the opponent blocks this at the corner of the stage, Ryu experiences pushback on block. So I guess the pushback on block is even further increased when the opponent is in the corner. Foot invincibility time changed from 13 to 19 to 13 to 20 frames. So he's slightly more invincible by 1 frame. Hurt box from 13 to 20 frames. Oh, interesting. So I think if he's trying to get hit from higher up in the body, it got reduced. He's basically less prone to getting hit on the higher up hurt box. Ryu's hop kick does have some extra pushback. Like it lands pretty far. If you space it well, there's no way they can punish you. Like this is super far. Even when you try to mistime it or misspace it a little bit, I think in a lot of these spots they can't punish you. Here I would probably get punished. I'm too close. And they said in the corner there's also extra pushback. I don't know if this was different. I'd like to see the spacing in the previous version, but we can't right now. But this is good. This is some nice spacing. Now I could show you. Like he can't reach. See, like that one was close. I think I'm gonna try to punish myself here. Yeah. But a lot of the time you can't really punish. You see, this is some great stuff. Axe kick. This is gonna be interesting. Ground bound effect added when the second attack hits an airborne opponent. So I assume that this will make the second hit more combo better when someone's airborne. We're gonna show you that in training mode as well. Increase second attack's combo count additional value. So this is like a buff to the second hit in general, and this makes it even combo more. So I'm gonna probably show you some new combos that he couldn't do before with axe kick. They added a new ground bound effect to reuse axe kick when your opponent's airborne. So as you can see, the opponent bounces on the ground after you do the axe kick. So this introduces more combos. So you could do something like this from Street Fighter V, or you could cancel it into DP, like that. So this is really cool, some nice stuff. Now his new target combo in Street Fighter 6 when it first came out was so pointless, I never used it in my life. This one is medium punch, light kick, heavy kick. So now the third attack is no longer performed if the second attack misses. So this is good because you don't get randomly punished if the second attack just doesn't come out, and you just get the third hit and you could get punished for it. So that's good. And the third attack can now be cancelled into Denjin Charge. This is what's sick. You can now get Denjin Charge from target combos. And now the disadvantage on block also changed from -7 to -4. So if you space this well, you can also get this to not punish. Even though, of course, as we mentioned before, everyone has a 4-frame normal. But yeah, this is going to be really useful, and I'm going to show you guys that. Let's talk about Ryu's new target combo. So this used to be -7 on block, so you're extremely vulnerable after this. But now if you space it right, you'll be safe on block. I'll show you this. If I do it too close like this, yes, I'll get punished. But if I do it properly, as you can see, I'm safe. You can do it in various ranges. You can get even closer, and as you can see, he's still safe. So this is great. What else could he do with this target combo? Well, now he can cancel it into Denjin Charge like this. And actually, you don't even need to do the double down input for Denjin Charge. You could just do one and it will work. So if I do this with one Denjin Charge input, just one down and heavy punch, it works, for example. Now his second target combo, which I also didn't use, but it was slightly more usable than the other one, is the heavy punch, heavy kick version. And you can also cancel it into Denjin Charge. You could also do the other variation. It also needs one down input. So this is the other target combo that got a buff. So for the normal Hadouken, light, medium, and heavy, not OD versions, they changed the advantage on hit. Light to +1, nice. Medium to -1, and heavy to -3. Now, I wonder what this would affect. I don't think it adds anything different, but you will probably just... Basically, your opponents recover slower. So I guess you have maybe more time to move, I guess. So Denjin Charge Hadouken and Denjin Charge Hashogek. This is the change that we've already seen in the trailer they announced. And Ryu can now pick which version to do. So he could do the Denjin Charge version of Hadouken and Hashogek by doing heavy or OD. And the other versions like light and medium, you could get a regular Hashogek or a regular fireball. So that will make his game plan so much better, guys. This is a big one. Since we already have Denjin Charge, let's talk about the infamous change that you guys have seen in the trailer. I'm throwing medium and light fireballs just fine. I still have Denjin Charge. Do I want to spend? Yep, I can. You could do the same for Hashogek. Light Hashogek works, medium Hashogek works. If you do heavy, you lose it. But this is really useful, because if I just do this, and I want to go for, you know, a pressure sequence with light Hashogek, you can. Previously, it would not work. You'd get this. And you don't want that. So I'm glad they changed that. So this one's also really good. Light and medium Hashogek reduce pushback on hit. So they're going to be closer to you after hitting, and I wonder how this would affect the counter and punish counter hit states. But let's say for the normal state, you can't combo afterwards. But let's say they press a button or anything, you can easily, you know, you're closer, so you can get more combos in. So this is nice. Now let's talk about Ryu's normal light and medium Hashogeks. They got a buff. Now they have less pushback on block, and you have 2 frames of advantage. So you can follow up actually, but it wouldn't combo. When would you use this? You'd probably use this when your opponent is probably gonna mash, and you know they're gonna mash. So this is what you do. See, you interrupt them just fine, and you can get your combo in, and it'll be perfect. You don't even have to spend drive gauge, but you can if you want to, if you're about to kill. So you can just go for this. Denjin Charge Hashogek, bug fix. Interesting. Attack startup changed from 21 to 20 frames. Okay. Recovery on hit or whiff changed from 18 to 19 frames. Fix an issue where if the attack is blocked on either the first or second attack frame, the recovery would be greatly different. So now they just made this more consistent. The recovery is the same for both. So for medium, heavy, and overdrive Hashogek, on block you will decrease 2,000 more drive gauge meter from the opponent. So that's amazing. Always good to reduce your opponent's drive gauge. You can force a checkmate situation. Overdrive, Denjin Charge, Hoshogek. Damage change from 1000 to 800. So this is the first actual nerf to Ryu, but I think it's just fine. Don't worry guys, don't panic. 200 damage, yes it is less, but they gave him so much more tools and you're gonna have Denjin Charge way more often. So it's okay to decrease the damage by 200, so don't panic guys, this is fine. So in the previous patch, Ryu could do Denjin Charge Hoshogek and it would do 1000 damage. Now since it's nerfed, now it does 800 damage. So previously, most optimal combos are no longer the same, I think. So if you do something like this, I don't think it's the most optimal combo of the game. But of course, against Akuma, he has no health, so it's gonna look like it does a lot of damage. But yeah, this is supposed to do 200 less damage. That's one of the changes, but look at Akuma's health, it got drained. Okay, so pay attention to this. So light, medium, and heavy Tatsu's damage increased. So for light and medium, both of them increased by 100. So from 800 to 900, 900 to 1000. But heavy got 200 extra damage. And take a look at this. The super art increase on hit changed to 1000, from 1000 to 1200, so 200 more. Here it's 300 more, and here it's 400 more. So for each variation, you get more a meter based on its strength. So drive gauge increase is present for all of them. Here you get 1000 more for light, you get 1500 more for medium, and 2000 more for heavy. So this is amazing. More drive meter guys, let's go. So now this is a universal change for all of the Tatsus. Combo count initial value increased, combo count additional value increased, and combo count upper limit increased. So what they're trying to say is it's supposed to combo more. But I don't know how this would change because you really don't combo anything from Tatsu. It's the combo ender. So we're gonna test that out. Maybe we could do Shinku Hadouken after light Tatsu. I don't know. Maybe on punish counter for any of these you get more combos. So we'll test that out as well. Okay, so I took a look at the different Tatsu variations and their combo ability. But I was pretty disappointed. Even with the punish counter, you can't do anything after this or this. And bold of me to assume that you could do like light Tatsu into Shinku Hadouken. I think that was a little bit too, I was a bit too excited. But I did notice that heavy Tatsu I think goes a little bit higher. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I feel like it goes a little bit higher. But it doesn't affect the combo ability. Like you can't do things that are slower like this. Or for instance, like a low drive rush thing. You can't, it's too slow. But what you could do, and I think you could do before, is this. You could do that before. So for aerial EX Tatsu, they've made some adjustments as well as a bug fix apparently. So they added a new hitbox that goes up, down, and forward. So I guess in these directions, when an opponent is in the air, it's supposed to hit them more consistently, I think. And this is the same for the collision push box expanded upward, I think, because if the opponent is higher up in the air, and you hit them with, for example, jumping medium punch into EX aerial Tatsu, I think if they're still higher up during the Tatsu animation, they'll get hit better. But here, this is, I think, where the bug fix comes in, because they say that the last hit of the EX Tatsu would not come out in certain situations. I don't know if this happened to you guys, let me know. I don't think it happened to me, I really don't. But yeah, so that's good. As you can see, as we keep scrolling, there's so many changes. Like, I've never seen like a balanced patch with this many changes. I'm scrolling, I'm so happy. Finally, Ryu is getting some attention. He's been left, you know, lonely for a whole year. Could not compete. So this is amazing. Now for the light donkey kick, this is one of my favorite adjustments in this whole patch. Light donkey kick before the patch was almost useless. It could not combo from light punch, but now it does. I will be reading about that. And it also was really slow. Now they made it slightly faster, 1 frame faster. They increased its damage. They decreased its active frames. The technique length is also decreased, but blowback time on hit increased. What the blowback does is keep them in the air more, I think. So while they're in the air, I think this will allow us to get better setups with Ryu's moves. We'll test that out as well. Super art gauge increased by 200. The drive gauge increases by 1000, and the decrease on block is 2000 more when you hit the opponent on block, so great stuff here. Light donkey kick got some nice buffs. On top of having extra damage, it's faster now, so you can combo from crouching light punch. This is especially useful when you're doing a setup like this. Into Hadouken, and then if they try to interrupt, you can combo into Crouching Light Punch, into Light Donkey Kick. Now, another really cool thing that this patch added is that since Light Donkey Kick has more blowback, it actually can have a safe jump. So if I do something like this, as you can see, I don't get hit. So it's really cool. Medium Donkey Kick, more damage by 100, Super Art increased by 200, and Drive Gauge increased by 1,500. So when you hit someone, you get an extra 1,500 Drive Gauge meter, 200 more Super Art, and more damage. Heavy Donkey Kick, the only change they've made was 200 more Super Art. So all good stuff. We're getting more super with everything we do. This is the EX Donkey Kick. They reduced the scaling for the combo, so now it's not scaled as much, slightly more damage. The startup changed from 18 to 17 frames, slightly faster. Technique is slightly faster as well. It's less lengthy by 1 frame. And blowback when hitting a mid-air opponent reduced. So Ryu's level 1 super got 2 really cool changes. The first is making it 1 frame faster. So for example, if an opponent does, a fireball mid-screen and you want to punish them on a reaction, it's faster, so it's more likely to be consistent. Now the second one, which is the coolest one by far, if you just did an EX Hadouken, an overdrive Hadouken, it's still on the screen, you can actually do a level 1 super while it's on the screen. That's just crazy. This is going to be really cool, and I'm going to show you guys that right now. Take a look at this. Isn't that so sick? You can do a Shinko Hadouken even if you have EX Fireball on screen. So now you could more conveniently do this. So cool. So make sure to use that, guys. So Ryu's level 2 super got more damage. Another nice buff to Ryu. Now, in case you don't know, Ryu's level 2 super has 3 levels technically. The first is when you don't hold down the button. The second is when you hold it down slightly. And the third is fully charging it. Now, in this description, I'm not sure if they count level 1 as not holding down anything or holding it down slightly. It got increased 200 damage and 100 damage here. And when you have Denjin charge, same thing, 200 and 100 damage. This is great. Remove projectile clash hitbox. So I would assume that if there's a fireball in front of the super, that instead of clashing with it, it would just go through it. That's what I assume. Guys, I'm not sure if this is a nerf or not. I'm trying the new projectile clash hitbox thing they mentioned, but I can't seem to know if it's like, if it works or I'm just mistiming it. Like, he's getting hit. I don't think this was possible before. I think he used to just absorb the fireball. Yeah, I don't think this was the case. This is too slow. It's gonna hit me. Wow, but I don't think that used to happen. Like, if it hits it just from the front. Yeah, it still works as intended, but I think the fireball aspect from the distance, I don't know. I think it used to nullify it, but now it doesn't. But up close, of course, you're invincible, so you could just go through it. The final change here is a nice one. A few nice changes here. So, Ryu's level 3 super without the cinematic animation, just the regular hit from the distance, let's say, it does 1,000 more damage. Very nice. They said that they expanded the hitbox upward, so that means I think if an opponent is higher up, they're more likely to get hit. And finally, the really cool change that you guys maybe have not noticed is that the attack comes out faster only when canceled into Heavy Shoryuken. Let me explain this one. So I think when you do combos into Heavy DP, sometimes they're higher up. Let's say we're doing EX Tatsu into Heavy DP. If you do EX Tatsu into Heavy DP into Super, the Super would whiff completely. But now since you're doing Heavy Shoryuken and they adjusted this, now it should come out quickly and link instantly with the Heavy Shoryuken and you get the cinematic animation instead of just nothing. So here in various situations when the opponent is kind of like juggled in the air and you want to do Heavy Punch into Heavy Shoryuken into Super, back then, before this patch, it used to whiff. And now I think it's gonna link every time. So this is some really, really nice changes. A really cool buff to Ryu's level 3 is that if it doesn't do the cinematic animation, you get 1,000 more damage than you used to. So that's 1,000 more damage. And the last thing is that his Heavy DP got a buff in which, where he does level 3, it wouldn't whiff anymore. So let me show you this combo. This used to whiff completely, and now it just combos. If I do other things, Like, it works. Back then, it didn't work. I wish they also implemented something similar for, like, medium donkey kick. Like, look, this is the worst situation ever. So you usually have to go for this. So guys, what do you think of these overall balance changes for Ryu, Universal, and for other characters? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this and found this useful, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one.